Hey, if you need me to pray, I'll pray.
What's that?
If you need me to pray.
Oh, no, I'll get it. I'll take care of it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. You're doing great.
You don't have to do this. Somebody can do this. See how this is all set up?
I'm sorry, Jamie. How's your mom?
Is it the shock that I'm up here or what? It's never been this quiet. Goodness. I was just trying to get prepared. Good morning. Good morning. It is good to see all of you this morning. And glad you're here to share in God's Word. Brother Dean, it's good to see you.
Morning.
Morning. A couple things to share with you here before we actually get into our service. We need pulpit back. not enough room up here for all this stuff. Christians of Hopedale Church of Christ, we would like to thank you for your support during our father's death. The chimes are so beautiful that you sent to us. What a wondrous remembrance. And that is from the family of Earl Smith, Jim and Linda, Kay and Reed, Jay, Jane and Walt. Also, to our church family, whether you prayed and are praying or sent a card to encourage and cheer, or visited or called to uplift and strengthen, or posted wishes of well-being on Facebook, or mowed the grass to keep our place looking beautiful, along with a multitude of other ways you shared your love during my hospital stay and present recovery. From our heart to yours, a great big thank you, Dean and Bessie. Thank you so much for the kind words received during our time of grief. We really appreciated all the hard work that was put into getting the two lunches prepared and set up for us. You all are such a blessing, and words can't express how we feel. Thank you again. Love you all, Renee and Bill and family. Thank you. Okay. Upcoming events, don't forget tonight, evening worship at 6 o'clock. In Romans chapter 6. Wednesday, Women in Faith Fellowship. Wednesday, 6 p.m. is Proverbs study in Jet Cadets. Thursday at 6 is a study in Acts. And Thursday at 7, study in Christ-centered leadership. Don't forget our upcoming chicken barbecue, VPS, and homecoming. Those are in August, and in October, the Arcane County. Okay, opening hymn this morning is Revive Us Again. We praise thee, O God, for the Son of our Lord, for Jesus who died and is now gone above. Hallelujah, thy glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, thy glory, revive us again, please. All glory and praise to the Lamb that was slain, who for our sins and has cleansed every stain. Hallelujah, thy glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, thy glory, revive us again. The scripture this morning comes from Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 6. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Let your forbearing spirit be known to all men. The Lord is near. Be anxious for nothing, but everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. The peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, shall guard your hearts and your minds in Christ. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity we have to be here this morning in your house to sing your praises, Father. Father, together around the table as we're commanded to do upon the first day of the week. Father, to hear your word proclaimed. We ask you to be with Brother Randy today as he brings our message. We know it'll be from his heart, Father, and inspired by you. Father, we just ask you to be with us in this time and be with us as we strive to grow and as we strive to do things for you. For this we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen. Amen. Our communion meditation this morning for the Tony Odd.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
I'm going to be reading from John 6:53 through 58. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in yourself. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day. For my flesh is true food, and my blood is true drink. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me, and I in him. As the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so he who eats me, he also will live because of me. This is the bread which came down out of heaven, not as the Father ate and died. He who eats the bread will live forever. Our Lord doesn't ask that much from us. He asks that a Christian family, each one of us, be immersed. On the first day of the week, we gather around this table for taking these emblems that have been provided for us so we can have eternal life.
Amen.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay. Communion hymn this morning is Holy Ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know let us breathe Jesus now. We are standing in His presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know our land. Let us praise Jesus now. We are standing in His presence on holy ground. We are standing in His presence on holy ground.
I asked the question, when's the last time you was on holy ground? When's the last time you stopped and praised the Lord? How many times have you been on your knees in the last week? How many times have you talked to the Lord? As you gather around this table, let us realize how important it is for our worship. It is our time to commune with the Lord. You know, He set this time up for a reason. He wanted us to be able to come to Him and get right. We're fortunate that we can do this each week, but it's also fortunate that He gives us each day that we can work and do the things that He asks and put our faith to work. We give you thanks, dear Lord, that you sent your Son to die for us. What a true miracle that is. And this thing about grace is really something that you would look upon Jesus' death and excuse my sins. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray.
Father, thank you. Mr. God, we need to speak this week. God, we come about this table, Father. Bless spiritually, Father, the world. Pray for the Holy Spirit, bless the Lord.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this long privilege to meet in your house, to worship you and to gather around your name. We also thank you for the many blessings that you've given each and every one of us. This time, Lord, we ask that you bless this offering that's given to you, that Lord, your will here. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Let's stand up.
Blessings all, praise Him among creatures here below. Praise Him among the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
We come to a prayer time this morning. Some names we need to bring to your attention. The Greg Jones family, in Greg's passing. Laura Fry, Laura is doing a little better. Larry Oliver recovering from a fall from a tree. Diana Dunlap for healing in her leg. She was in the ER yesterday. You get that thing healed up yet, aren't you? Oh. Here's going to keep visiting. Yeah. Okay. Jim Peterson for health-related concerns. Let's continue to keep Jim on our prayer. Joe Case. Joe Case been diagnosed with cancer. We ask you to keep him in your prayer. PM flying for surgery on the 25th. Brother Dean to the doctor Tuesday for further assessment. Also, a couple more to add. Anthony Hubland, I see where Anthony's in the hospital and he's got some serious health issues. So we ask you to keep Anthony in your prayers. And also, Mary Ann's ending for some health problems. And ask you to keep Linda in your prayers. She's not feeling well this morning. So ask you to keep all those folks in your prayers. And of course, the Lord's Church, our outreach here. And just pray for those who need to make a decision. And also for those who have fallen away and need to make or find their way back. Just ask you to keep all those folks in your prayers. Very good this morning is what a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything down in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. Oh, we have to not carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, we can be comfort with a lot of care. Precious Savior, to our rest. Take you to the Lord in prayer. Good darkness is fast within me. Take you to the Lord in prayer. In the dark to me and shield me. Thou wilt find a solace there.
Lord, we come now to you with each individual on this list. We pray you bless them, Lord. Put your hands upon their hearts. Keep them strong, Lord. I pray you keep them focused on you with your love, your blessing, your grace. Will get them through anything we face in this plan of existence. But in the end, Lord, we're going to be with you. And I pray for the ones here at this church that you bless all our hearts and keep them strong. Keep them focused on you, Lord. It's only you that's going to get us there. And I pray for the ones that haven't come in yet, Lord, that you bless them and open their eyes and let them see the blessing and the love and grace you pour out upon us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, as we prepare for Children's Church, this is the day. This is the day the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Amen. Yeah. Well, this morning we have the pleasure of having Brother Randy Ryan for our message this morning, all the way originally from New York. Somebody told me to say that not to forget that you may be a tad bit opinionated. I wasn't going to say that because I know you and I love you, and I didn't notice any real opinionation. But anyway, I'm going to turn the podium over to you, Brother Randy, and we're all prepared for whatever. Thanks, sir. Like I said, I didn't come up with opinionated. Remember?
No, that's okay. I do best with opinionated people also. My wife is quite opinionated.
Oh, no.
Here, here.
That's why I could say.
We got it on video.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, we did.
Good to see everyone today. Let's just start with a quick word of prayer before I speak on the Lord's word. Let's come together. Heavenly Father, we come before you. I thank you, dear God, for this opportunity and privilege of being able to speak about your word, Lord, and take it and think about it, mull over it. Lord, apply it to our lives. I pray that your words would be spoken, Lord, that I would be void from all this. It's yours and yours alone. We thank you for the blessing of it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
God's grace, that's what I wanted to talk about. I come upon a story in the Old Testament. While I'm talking, if you want to go to 2 Samuel chapter 9. If you have your Bible, turn to 2 Samuel chapter 9. And I believe that it's one of the absolute most profound stories about grace, one man to another, in the Old Testament that I found. And I want to try to do, get everyone here, myself included, I always think about this as far as God's grace, what it means to each and every one of us. God is, He's an incredible God. And through His grace and grace alone, we are immersed into Christ, we receive the Holy Spirit. And it's by His grace and through His grace that we can do good works for Him also. But a lot of times what we tend to lose sight of is we show that grace, the grace that God showed us when He saved us, and how He cares for us. Do we show that same grace one to another? You know, do we demonstrate that in our relationships with each other when we judge one another? Do we judge one another through the eyes of Christ, through the grace that was given to us? Or do we judge one another through our sinful nature? You know, that's one thing that we have to be careful of. And we have to demonstrate that grace, especially one to another. And that's what people in the world see when they see us. They see how we treat one another.
Yeah. Amen.
We're gonna cover this period of time here that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about King David, and the times of the kings was a definite. It was not the time that you would want to live. It was not the time that I would want to live. Because we think the times are brutal today. When we think about ISIS and terrorism and all the rest of the product of this world as far as sin and you only have to take a quick view of the time it came to realize that it was much more brutal time. Okay? First of all, at this period of time when 9 opens up, David has taken over the kingdom. He's now king. He's fought many wars, and he's increased the size of Saul's kingdom, who he took the kingdom from, took over after Saul. And he's increased the size of Israel tenfold. In the wars and the battles that David fought, he's increased the size of Israel by 10. Okay? But now, one of the first orders of business for a new king, a lot of people don't realize it. It's pretty scary. But one of the orders of a new king would be first order of business upon taking over the throne, annihilate the ex-king's family. They would go from house to house. He'd send the army. They would pull every little child, grandchild, cousin, and murder them right in the streets. That's pretty brutal. But But that was a custom at the time. That's what the kings did. Let's read, I'm going to read through 2 Samuel 9, and then we'll look it over. Then David said, "Is there yet anyone left in the house of Saul that I may show him the kindness for Jonathan's sake?" Now, as I'm reading this, remember, every time I use the word kindness, you could relate that to grace. Now there was a servant in the house of Saul whose name was Ziba, and they called him to David, the king, said to him, "Are you Ziba?" And he said, "I am, your servant." And the king said, "Is there not anyone yet in the house of Saul to whom I may show the kindness of God?" And Ziba said to him, to the king, "There is still a son of Jonathan who is crippled in both feet." So the king said to him, "Where is he?" And Ziba said to the king, "Behold, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel in Lodabar." Then King David sent and brought him to the house, from the house of Machir, the son of Amiel from Lodabar. Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, son of Saul, came to David and fell on his face and prostrated himself. And David said, "Mephibosheth?" And he said, "Here is your servant." And David said to him, "Do not fear, for I will surely show you the kindness that for your sake, for your father Jonathan, and will restore to you all the land of your grandfather Saul, and you shall eat at my table regularly." Again he prostrated himself before the king and said, "What is your servant that you should regard a dead dog like me?" Then the king called Saul's servant Ziba and said to him, "All that belonged to Saul and all his house I have given your master's grandson. And your sons and your servants shall cultivate the land for him. You shall bring in the produce so that your master's grandson may have food. Nevertheless, Mephibosheth, your master's grandson, shall eat at my table regularly." Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Then Ziba said to the king, "According to all my lord the king has commanded his servant, so your servant will do." So Mephibosheth ate at David's table as one of the king's sons. Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all who lived in the house of Ziba were servants to Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem, for he ate at the king's table regularly, and he was lame in both feet. Before I go to the text, I just want to bring up one point. If you go back one chapter, chapter 8, verse 2, flip over one page, you'll see the account, starting in verse 1, of all of David. It's headline, David's triumph. He's defeating army after army after army, even the Moabite army, the Philistines, the Arameans, Zobah. He won one war after the other. You know what they used to do when they won a battle? All of the captured soldiers, the army, would be placed on a hillside. It could be thousands, 20,000 some accounts, 30,000 men. And the king would draw a line through them. 1/3 and 2/3. 2/3 were slaughtered. 1/3 became slaves. That's how they did it. But now, as 8 winds down, chapter 8, and we get into chapter 9, there's a time of peace in Israel. There's a time of peace in Jerusalem. And David has a moment in the beginning verse of chapter 9 to reflect, to think about his past, his life, what he's accomplished, what the Lord has done for him. And in that moment, I believe, in my study, he's come to the point where he's thinking of promises that he's made. And I'm going to bring it to 2 promises, okay? Number 1 is in 1 Samuel 24, 20 to 22. Go over to 1 Samuel. As a matter of fact, let's go to 1 Samuel 20. 1 Samuel 20, verse 14 to 17. Okay? The lead up to this is Jonathan. I don't know how many know about Jonathan. Jonathan was David's the closest person that David ever had to him in his life was his friend Jonathan. Some people say that the friendship between David and Jonathan was unrivaled anywhere else in the entire Bible between two men. They were blood brothers. They were the best and closest that they could ever be. Now Jonathan, he was Saul's son. He was literally in line to be king. But Jonathan knew. Jonathan knew he was never going to be king, that David would be king. And at this point that we're going to look at here, they're in a field, and David is prompting Jonathan to find out why Saul wants him dead. And Jonathan is going to find out, to have this plan, and he's going to get back to David. But he takes David aside away from his men and David's men, and they go out into the field, and they're all alone. And this is what Jonathan says to David, because he knows he's going to be king. Remember? First priority of a new king, annihilate the old king's family. Yeah. Verse 14. Jonathan says to David, if I am still alive, will you not show me the loving kindness, grace of the Lord, that I might not die? You shall not cut off the loving kindness from my house forever. Not even when the Lord cuts off every one of your enemies, David, from the face of the earth. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, may the Lord require it at the hands of David. And Jonathan made David vow again because his love, because he loved him as he loved his own life. There's number one. David is promising before the throne that he will not take away Jonathan's bloodline. And here's number two. This is 1 Samuel 24, 20 to 22. The lead up to this is David hiding in the cave. Remember? Saul got all his horsemen, they're looking for David. Saul goes into the cave to see if David's in there. David, in the darkness, cuts off a piece of Saul's robe. Right? Greg's the first one sleeping back there. You go down, you go away from him. So anyway, here he is. He cuts off a piece of Saul's robe. Now, Saul's getting ready to leave, and David comes from the cave, and he's waiting. He says, Saul, wait a minute. I'm going to paraphrase all this portion. Saul, he shows him a piece of his robe. Saul knew at that point he was mincemeat. David could have killed him just like that, and it would have been done. But he didn't. He held up a piece of his robe and he said, Saul, what have I done to you that's so bad that you want my life? What have I done? Saul there recognizes immediately what was going to happen, and this is what he says to David. He tells David that, David, you are a much better man than even I. And then he says in verse 20, now behold, I know that you will surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel will be established in your hand. So now swear to me by the Lord that you will not cut off my descendants after me, and that you will not destroy my name from my father's household. And David swore. And Saul went home, and David went back to his stronghold. So there's number two. There's two times that David told the king and his son that when he becomes king, he's not going to do what every other king has done in the history of Israel. He's not going to do that. And he doesn't. So at this point, chapter 9, where it opens up, David is pondering these things. There's a time of peace, and he has a chance to reflect. And now, he wants to do something amazing. And this is how he acts. Let's pick it up again in verse 1 of chapter 9. And we'll read 1 through 4. Then David said, is there yet anyone left in the house of Saul that I may show him grace for Jonathan's sake? Now there was a servant in the house of Saul whose name was Ziba. They called him to David, and the king said to him, are you Ziba? And he said, I am your servant. And the king said, is there not yet anyone of the house of Saul whom I may show the kindness of God, the grace of God? And Ziba said to the king, there is still a son of Jonathan who's crippled in both feet. So we're going to get to that, crippled in both feet in a minute too. So the king said to him, where is he? And Ziba said to the king, behold, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lo-debar. Let me give you a little background. Lo-debar, if you were to translate Lo-debar into our English terminology, Lo means no, debar means pasture. And every farmer here, and that I know, understands what that means. No pasture. Lo-debar was a wasteland. It was a place where criminals went, desperados went and hid there from the law, from the armies, from the kings. It was east of the Jordan River. No one would ever go there that wanted to do anything. You couldn't have animals. There was no pasture at all. But that's where he was. Okay? And if you look with me real quick, just back a couple of pages to 2 Samuel 4:4. I told you we're going to wonder. I wondered why. Where's the crippled feet come into play? Well, in 2 Samuel 4:4 tells the story of how he got crippled. Okay? 2 Samuel 4:4. God's word is more important. What I have to say is done. Now Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son crippled in his feet. He was 5 years old when the report of Saul and Jonathan came from Jezreel. Okay? This is saying that the report came from Jezreel, Saul and Jonathan are dead. They have died in battle. Okay? And his nurse, the little boy's nurse, this is Jonathan's son. Okay? You got to remember customs and times in her mind. The king is coming. He's going to kill this little boy, this 5-year-old that's been entrusted to me while his father's in battle. I got to get him out of here. And his nurse took him up and fled. And it happened that in her hurry to flee, he fell and became lame. And his name was Mephibosheth. Most accounts will say that she probably got on a horse and was in full gallop when he fell. He was crippled and never recovered. He could hardly walk. And he lived in the wasteland where the nurse brought him to this day. And he was afraid all his life. He's a man now. All his life he lived in fear because he had to hide. He never realized what was coming. Let's look at verse 5 and 6. Then King David sent, sent the whole contingency of soldiers. Then King David sent and brought him from the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, from Lo-debar. Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, came to David, fell on his face and prostrated himself. And David said to Mephibosheth, and he said, here is your servant. Back in those days, when a king sent for you, that's what you did. When you came before that king, did we do that with our God?
Wow.
He fell on his face on the floor, feeling he was finished. They came and got him, and the next thing he was going to feel was a sword across the back of his neck. The fear must have been gripping. In verse 7 it says, David said to him, do not fear, for I will surely show you the grace, God's grace, to you, for the sake of your father Jonathan, restore to you all the land of your grandfather Saul, and you shall eat at my table regularly. Again, he dropped, he fell flat on his face. Again, he prostrated himself and said, what is your servant that you should regard a dead dog like me? And then King Saul, and then the king called Saul's servant, Ziba, and said to him, all that belonged to Saul and all his house I have given to your master's son. Can you imagine the shock and disbelief? Here's a guy that was hiding in a wasteland all his life. The king sends a contingency of army to grab him, bring him to the palace, so he can tell him the fear should be gone. Because now I am going to show you grace, like God shows grace. What is the grace that I'm talking about? Is a gift undeserved. Each and every one of us got that gift when we were immersed in Christ.
Amen.
A gift undeserved. We didn't deserve it, but He gave it to us. So now here he is in shock, bewilderment, and he listens to David. Now he asks David a second time, who is this dead dog that you consider me? And at this point, David doesn't even answer. He don't even answer the picture. He just turns and he finishes the follow to Ziba. You and your sons and your servants shall cultivate the land for him. You shall bring him the produce from your master, from the master to the master's grandson, who might have food. Nevertheless, Mephibosheth, your master's grandson, shall eat at my table regularly. Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Then Ziba said to the king, according to all my lord the king commands, this servant, so your servant will do. So Mephibosheth ate at David's table as one of the king's sons. Mephibosheth had a young son named Micah, who lived in the house of Ziba, where servants were, and who lived in the house of Ziba, where servants were servants of Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem, where he ate at the king's table regularly. Now he was laying over feet. Okay, now you got to realize something. David now, not just taking this is Jonathan, his gift and son. Can you imagine David was in shock probably when he even heard that Jonathan had a son? He didn't even know Jonathan had a son. Even Ziba was hiding it from him because everybody thought that David would probably kill everybody. He never did. But here is a guy, you pull him out of the wasteland and not just show him the grace of you don't have to be in fear anymore. You're not going to die by my hand. But you're also going to eat at my table forever as one of my sons. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a gift beyond a gift. Imagine being royalty from Lodabar to royalty, from Nopal to wasteland to royalty. And I can only imagine what that scenario looked like when you took dinner time in the palace, okay? Because King David had a family. And I'll tell you who would be at that table, okay? You just got to imagine this in your mind. Adnan was a king's son. Adnan. He was considered by biblical. He was clever and witty. The Bible talks about him being clever. The witty son. Probably a little bit of a time. Like Ron Baker. And then there's Absalom. Absalom also one of the king's sons. The Bible says about Absalom, not a blemish on him, long flowing hair. I almost got a picture of what, like Fabio on the cover of those books. So that's how, he was just a beautiful man. That was Absalom. Then there would be at that table Joab. Joab, he was the general. He ran the army. He was probably scarred from battles, bronzed from being in the sun with his armies all day long. Tamar was a daughter, beautiful daughter of David, later subsequently raped by her half-brother. But all consequences of David's sin. And Solomon would have been at that table. Later, King Solomon, now he's one of the sons at that table. Probably had just come from the library, packing up the wisdom and knowledge. Maybe he was got hold of Dow Jones average, see where he put his money to. I'll tell you, they all had to wait. When he'd sit down, everybody would eat. That's the grace that King David, through God alone, bestowed on the shepherd. My question is this. We look at stories in the Bible that demonstrate true godly grace. And I wonder, do we get it? Do we demonstrate that type of grace one to another? When we share our frailties with one another, when we see someone take a misstep, do we pick up a stick? Or do we lift them to a better place through God's grace?
Amen.
Because it's only through His grace that we can. We can lift each other to greater understanding and greater following of Jesus Christ through His grace demonstrated to us. Thanks. Let's pray for a moment. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you. We thank you for your word, dear God. We thank you for every example you give us, Lord. We have them all right before us in this Bible that you've given us, your word. Might we never take it lightly, Lord. May we never take one another for granted. May we truly, through your grace, lift one another to a better place in you. We thank you for this church, dear God, the Church of Christ, and our brother Dean, all of the sermons that he brings us every Sunday, Lord. We thank you and ask you for your healing upon him and for the family, Lord, all of it. In Jesus' name. Amen.
I didn't fall asleep.
I know, I was watching.
He warned me before church. He said, "You fall asleep, I'm giving you a table." Randy, thank you so very much. If you have a need for the Lord, now is your time to come forward and get right with Him. Please don't let that pass. It is so very important you understand the grace that He just talked about. God has given us that grace. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. All right? Let's stand and sing the last song.
And I am ours to worship you, oh my soul. Rejoice, take joy with me in what you hear. May a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. I May a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. May a sweet, sweet sound in your ear.
I wonder, as you go through this week, will you lift up your voice to the Lord? Will it be a sweet, sweet sound? Let's gather together for a word of prayer. Dean, could you?
I'm glad to.
Thank you.
Make sure Brother Randy comes back here.
Yes,
Everybody get a chance to talk to you on the way out. Thank you for the powerful message, reminder of where we've come. Thank you, God, for bringing us out a little more to your table. We love you for it, Lord. Help us to help others see their need for it and that they are more than welcome as well. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Who's that?